Yo, hello there. Hello there. Get the lighting up. I'm looking blue right now. What's going on? I'm in a blue house with a blue window. I'm about to start singing out here. Pop a little water. How you doing, guys? Hope the weekday's going good for you. I'm looking blue again. Even though the lights are white, camera quality going down the drain. Video quality going down the drain. The YouTube channel, might as well delete it. Lock it in. Settle down. By the way, before we start this video, brought to you by Weathers Original. Okay, I'm doing a little ASMR. Maybe this is a little mukbang channel. We're now a food channel, guys. We're a food channel. We might as well be because we're used as a paladin. I take that back. We're the greatest paladin of all time. However, forget about that. Cancel that. Any news? Have you ever had these? They're like old people's candy, pretty much. If your parents ever give you these, pretty solid, honestly. And these are sugar free. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's like a cafe caramel taste. Not too bad. Not too bad. How you doing? Anyways, back it up. You're in my face. I'll knock you out. Settle down, all right? You settle down right now. Put your seatbelts on. We got a lot to talk about today. So, also, yeah, chairs completely breaking. Put some WD-40 on that bitch. Anywho, not part of the conversation. Lock it in. So yeah, looks like Blizzard put out a little bit of a hotfix going out. Quick little hotfixes, tuning certain classes, and making the level experience from going to 40 just a little bit more easier for people still leveling on their journey, which I think is pretty awesome because, you know, everybody's trying to catch up in SOD with their alts or level up other characters, etc. So I think that is pretty cool. I'm burping over here. Oh my gosh. However, as of the 21st, which I think was like last night, early morning, like I saw this go out. I just couldn't make a video on it, right? Because I was like fucking shit tired. But anywho, they put out Elite and Dungeon Quests now granting additional bonus experience. So if you're trying to, you know, level up another character or an alt, whatever you want to do, another tune, whatever you want to call it, perfect opportunity to be leveling up because you can get a lot of XP right now from leveling up alternative characters. The Dismantle enchant now procs more often for casters and melee, and honestly, I'm considering putting this on the Electrocutioner Needle because I was going to go with the Fiery Blaze, but I kind of want to test out how the Dismantle enchant really procs, you know, especially, you know, being as a paladin, I've been tanking now, doing a little bit more about prot stuff, which I do think that's going to be our next video, talking about more about the prot paladin, talking about specifically tank paladins, talk about how all there's so many various routes to go, and I want to try Dismantle on that bad boy to see how much better it is in Nomer, and start using that and going from there. The vendor price for the easy throw radiation bombs and high yield radiation bomb has been reduced. I haven't even tested these out, but my one friend, who's my rogue buddy, he tells me that these things are kind of ass. Like, they're okay, but like the solid dynamite he's been using is a little bit better. Or, I mean, I've been using solid dynamite myself, and I feel like it's pretty solid. So I don't know about these. Overall, what do you think about these? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Do you think they're pretty solid? I don't know. I dig the solid dynamite as it is. But it's whatever about that. Players now in the spirit world can resurrect at chain spirits up to 30 minutes after a blood moon ends. I think that's perfect because like it is annoying right when you die in the zone after the event ending that you have to run all the way back to your body. So you know, increasing the quality of life for the Stranglethorn event itself after the event is over is really nice, so people could just, you know, get to their bodies, res, and do whatever they got to do, you know what I mean, and just, you know, harf out and come back to the event later on. That's a perfect change, and I think Blizzard, you did a good job at least with that. Now, Spirit of Redemption form will no longer instantly cancel if you attempt to cast spells not allowed in that form. Doing so now returns an error message. Oh, very interesting. I didn't even know that was like a massive issue with that. And now the Zandalari Emissary can be found on top of the Duratar Zeppelin Tower, which is cool as well. As far as the class changes, Mage's spell power now benefits the critical strike damage of Spell Frostbolt. That's actually pretty juicy, for assuming for the Frost Mages. For Rogues, Preparation now properly resets the cooldown of Quick Draw between the eyes and Redirect, which is pretty juicy. And Shuriken Toss will no longer sometimes cause loss of combo points when a Rogue is talented into the Seal of Fate and bounce the Shuriken crits a secondary target. I didn't even know this was a massive issue of losing combo points. I thought the combo point issue was fixed. For my Rogues, leave me comments in the video below and let's talk a little bit more about this. And every class as well, because I'm always interested in all classes. It's very cool stuff. For my Shamis, who are gods right now, the Shamans are making the come up right now. Have you seen the logs? They're popping off. I'm very happy for the Shamans. It's really dope. But it is pretty scary in PvP when there's 1,000 totems. Settle down with the totems. Hit everybody else. Just don't hit me, okay? I love it. Next. Great story. Shamans, though. Offhand Storm Strike hits can now correctly trigger weapon procs, including Wind Fury Weapon and Flurry. As well, now with Healing Rain no longer has a variant height for its animation. The Healing Rain cloud now always appears just above the player's head, so it reduces the animation effect. I'm assuming this is making the healing quicker, so to say, but if not, leave me some comments below for my shaman knowledge. Would love to see anything about that. And for my warlocks, Haunt will now properly increase the damage done by Siphon Life. Developer notes, Siphon Life behaves like Life Drain and will only be increased by Haunt if it's cast while Haunt is already active. These abilities do not dynamically update their values when Haunt is applied or falls off. Do you feel like this was a major issue with Haunt not properly doing this before, and do you like the changes after from our warlocks? Actually curious to hear your thoughts about that, because I think, Haunt done what, Siphon Life is, pretty sick. The warlocks, I think, do a lot of good damage in certain areas. I would really like to start seeing more of the affliction warlocks start shining. I think I said this in my previous videos, and I hope there's a little bit more catering to affliction locks in PvE. I think they're good in PvP, but in PvE in general, maybe down the line, to see what they do with them. But this is pretty nice. I would assume a good update for warlocks in general that maybe needed this from Haunt with Siphon Life. But overall, that's basically this portion of the video with the news. I kind of want to go into a couple forum posts that I saw that I want to talk about, and I'm really intrigued to see maybe your thoughts on it as well. So let's go into the forum post one right here. Little cut of the video right there, a little special ed, nothing too crazy. I'm not a crazy editor, but let's go into the next part. So from this post and this user right here, he believes right now that in the latest Ironforge population metrics are out, result population remains cratered. Pugs can't find healers. Wouldn't it be nice if a loot system rewarded them even if they didn't get any loot? He also believes the PvP event is terrible, and even after the hotfixes, the concept of PvP fighting lasting more than 2 seconds is a forgotten whisper. There's no incentive to level in alts. The slog to level once has burned us out. Are people running for the hills? That's very interesting. Now, to answer one of the things here, I don't think pugs, I don't think pugging is a bad issue, right? Let's full cam this here. I don't think pugging is a bad issue. I think, if you can pug and get a part of a fun, group and get involved and, play the spec you want to play and play the class you want to play, I think that's really fun, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be able to pick the class you want to play and enjoy yourself. But I do think right now in SOD, there is an issue with people wanting only certain classes to join certain raid teams. And I think Blizzard is actually looking at that. I can't even speak right now. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. Lock it in. However, I do think Blizzard understands this. They have data analysts probably on their team, and they're looking at this data. They got their mods on their forum posts. Phone's going off. They got their mods on their forum posts, and they're collecting this information. They know that people are having this issue. I'm sure they're aware of it. Now, whether they're going to address it is a different story. I don't know what they're going to do to make classes more balanced out in PvE overall, but I really do hope there is some type of further addressing, maybe with a live update from Agrin's end, or the team itself, or something on a Wowhead article that we wind up covering. Who knows? But myself, I am fortunate enough to have a guild with friends and people that I've met, and we've all built bonds and relationships, and that's kind of the hardest thing in WoW sometimes, is trying to find other people to connect with. It's really hard. You can level up your class by yourself, right? You could do everything in the game to 40, do whatever the fuck you want, but at the end of the day, trying to connect with other people is sometimes harder than just doing anything, and finding the right people is even harder. So those are two different spectrums, So I can understand, finding healers is hard. I think I've seen some messages in LFG saying paying 20 gold just for my spec to get into a raid, or paying 20 gold for a healer just to join our raid. I mean, it's pretty bad right now on that end, and I do think that needs some working on. So leave me your comments and thoughts in below, and what you think about it, maybe what Blizzard can implement, what you're hoping to see, and I would love to talk to you further about it. Going from there with you guys with that. Also, as far as him saying the PvP event being terrible even after the hotfixes, I think the one thing about PvP that I didn't like, that I noticed, is that the language system is kind of really wonky right now. They had it fixed at one point, then it was kind of not fixed, and then it broken again, and now it's kind of in a weird spot where me and my friends, we were walking through Stranglethorn all through the northern side, by Rebel Camp, where the 3 altars are by ZG and all that shit. And then the middle altar to the right, down the road a little bit more if you're going south. We went to all these altars. We found 1, maybe 2 teams. And it seems like the layering is like kind of stripping people from different areas and the sources where they're supposed to be, and people are getting mixed up, and you can't find groups after a certain point of the day, night or day, whatever time you play, right? And I don't know, it's been harder to find people. We did find people more south, luckily, when we did go with like 5 minutes left, and I thought it was like, damn, I was like, it's kind of pointless now to farm as much silver as we can, right? So it was all right, but it wasn't great. Overall, I do think there is improvements for the event in a nutshell besides the layering stuff. I do think, anything can always be improved on. Nothing is ever crystal perfect. And when it is, it's a very rare, that it's a gem, and I really do hope that Blizzard continues to improve on the PvP event, maybe even add new additions to it to spice it up and give it a better life cycle in the end of things. Because I feel like right now, I don't know if I have faith in Blizzard really making a lot of changes that would make the event any type of crazier than it already is. I mean, for example, if you even look at like Ashenvale, right? Ashenvale, they didn't do shit with Ashenvale. They kind of just left Ashenvale in the past now, like it's whatever. And that's a concern I have for the Stranglethorn event after Phase 2, that Stranglethorn's just going to get, like, it's whatever at this point. That's it. We're never going to improve upon the creation that we made, this baby that we formed and try to mold it into something golden here. And unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a shit show here on a lot of ends, but, we're going through the mud, and that's what a lot of us Blizzard and WoW players always do. We always are going through the mud with things and hoping for a gem. So it is what it is. I will leave your comments and thoughts about that below as well. Now, he also says, like, no incentives to level alts. I think that's a little harsh. I think at the end of the day, people want to level alts and make a new class. That's completely up to them. That's a personal choice. I don't think that's like a thing where you could say like there's no point of leveling alts. If people want to level a new class just to have fun, let them level a new class and have fun. If I want to go with 5 of my buddies in a Discord, and we start from fucking level 1 and just level some alts and have some fun and revisit dungeons and stuff, that's our choice. But like, I don't think that's a big ordeal, so I'll just leave that at that. And I say we move on to the next article and go from there. However, so that was with BYYP. So no hate to any of these individuals, by the way. I don't want to like call anyone out. I'm just reading stuff, covering news here. This one here is SOD was fun for a week, but the game is dead. The game was fun for a bit, but the game is dead. He basically just said the game is dead twice. I understand. However, not the game itself, but the community. He's saying the community's dead. Okay. There's actually nothing to do. Farm Nomer for what? Every class has 3 to 4 BIS pieces out of Nomer, and it's all replaced in 2 months anyway. The game isn't a traditional MMO in a sense. You are in a pigeonhole forced to play certain specs. If your spec isn't viable, you can't play the game. You won't be invited to raids, and you do 0 damage and die instantly in PvP. You don't actually need gear to clear any gear to clear Nomer, so why does it drop loot? There's 0 point of the loot even, and there's so much of it, who cares? There's no competitive PvP either. Ranking is free. AFK some BGs and you get max rank. No point in trying any BGs either because the Shadow Priest will just one-shot you. He's right about that. That is true. At least about that. Shadow Priest one-shotting people? Absolutely true. If you do this while healing to full in 1 penance, boring. Anyways, game's dead. Surprises game made hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Now, a couple things about this. Alright, this dude just swung out the water. I don't know. Maybe he's... who knows if he's off his meds. I see, like, even the level, he's a level 80 Orc Hunter. I'm assuming he's from Wrath, okay? Been there, done that. I understand that part. However, what did you expect? What do you expect out of WoW? It's an old fucking game. People are playing this game based on nostalgia, okay? Like, at the end of the day, I'm shaking my shoulders over here like an Italian gangster. Settle down, fellow. My bad. Sorry, shouldn't be approaching like that. However, what's the point of farming any dungeon? What's the point of farming any raid then? People just want to get the best cool-looking gear. They want to flex. They want to show off. They want to show their friends that they're, like, popping off and they got cool drip. It's like, if I'm playing Monster Hunter, and like I don't need to get the coolest pieces, but if I find a coat with like Gucci purr, where it's cold outside, little purr. Okay, settle down. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? You know what I'm saying though? In Monster Hunter, if you played Monster Hunter, it's all about the drip. I rather fashion hunt than monster hunt, And if I want to get some cool epic items, even if it's not like, the craziest thing in the world, I get the bragging right of saying so because I worked towards it and I found friends and people along the way to do it. So I don't think there's no pointless to say that things are pointless. No. At the end of the day, people are having fun and they're putting their time where they allocate it to and deciding what they do to spend that time with their buddies or pugs or whatever. So I think that's wrong to say that there's pointless of going after pieces of Nomor, because at the end of the day, it's all progression towards the next, expansion. People were using their Twilight set for a while before they replaced it, and people were using, the new sets now, and eventually we'll replace that as well. But I still keep my epics in my bank, if I or my sets in my bank, because it's just, it's just a bragging right thing. I don't think this is a big issue here. The game, when he said the game isn't a traditional MMO in any sense, I mean, dude, it's classic WoW at the end of the day. Like, I don't know what we're expecting of a reinvention of the wheel here. If you want a reinvention of the wheel, just go wait for Ashes of Creation, something else. Wait for a different MMO. Maybe play another game. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, and I agree with, playing another game is fine sometimes. Like, dude, I'm so excited for other games coming out in the future, like Elden Ring DLC. I want to get into Helldivers 2, Tekken 8. Like, there's a lot of games I have on my list on my criteria, but like, I'm covering WoW because I just love doing WoW stuff, and it reminds me when, playing WoW when I was younger, and playing WoW currently now with, my guild. So I don't think it's a big deal of this game not being traditional or whatever you want to say about it. So I'm not too much of an agreement there. Now, I do understand about the viability of a spec of what he mentioned, because, yeah, like I just mentioned in my, literally a couple minutes ago, if you're not currently correctly spec'd with certain things, or you don't take the time to even learn your class, or maybe people just don't want you involved in your raid at all, that's pretty messed up. And it's messed up in a lot of ends. One, if you're not taking the time to learn your class, you got to fix that yourself. That's a personal issue. Two, if you're not getting picked because you're not the meta spec, then that's not the people you should be playing with. You should look for others, and seek other people that want to, spend time with you in their raid, and try your best of finding that. And, I hope the best for you. I'm not going to say you're going to find it 100%. No, like, obviously it's not like 100% guaranteed you're going to find every raid every week, but I wish you the best of luck out there. That's all I can say. And because it's, at the end of the day, it's not my place to say anything for you. But I would say also, as far as dying, in PvP instantly, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, counterplay is something that Blizzard has acknowledged, especially with like Shadow Priest, and what we talked about in the last video or the video before that, one of the videos. Unless I'm a little lost, I don't remember all my videos. Okay, I know I do them, and that's about it. Everything's a blur, but talking to you guys is not a blur. You're always in the light. Okay. But I will say, yeah, dying in PvP happens instantly. Of course it does. But I do think that one of the better things with PvP, oh, my Discord's going off. One of the better things about PvP, especially when you go in like a Wrathy Basin, is that you get to, maybe group with a couple of your friends or buds, and you challenge each other in PvP, and just try to, maybe hodge one person, or stun one person, or hardlock somebody down and focus on another person, capture a flag, and we commit to my friend group. We're like, we're staying on this flag. We keep this hill. This is our hill, King of the Hill style. That's pretty cool stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a big deal. So I don't think there's zero point to even do PvP, and the fact that he's saying you do 0 damage, it sounds like more this individual is more a little, I'm not gonna say butthurt, but he's more annoyed, if anything, and I can understand if he's annoyed. If anything, just don't play. You don't need to play PvP, and try to stick to PvE, and try to get into some type of raid group if you can. You got to reach out. And no competitiveness in PvP. I mean, we don't got no arenas. This ain't no crazy system. This is just SOD and Classic era combined, and they're trying to make new things here and there. This is not supposed to be some super sweaty, retail-based system. If you want to go play retail by all means. But yeah, that's really about it. I don't know what else to really say about this individual. Overall, I think, they seem a little frustrated, but we'll move on and go to the next one, okay? So let's go to our next person. The last one I got up here, that's something I might say for a separate one. I don't think I'm going to waste too much time on that, but we'll leave it for another video, because I want to go over some paladin stuff. Maybe we'll add that to, the prop paladin video. We'll talk about that at another point. So SOD Phase 2 is pay to win. This is an interesting one, okay, about like gold and stuff like that. So why the epic crafting recipes and materials are time gated and locked behind gold. It just tells me that everything in a new class during SOD costs 200 to 300 gold to play them, plus mount costs. Banning GDKP while pushing players to just buy gold or swap gold instead through this kind of systems. For example, the STV PvP event rewards playing the game. The more play it, the faster you get rewards. Where crafting Phase 2 rewards by just having gold pay to win. Very disappointing design, way worse than Phase 1. Oh, I had to crack my knuckles there. I felt a little cracky itch. I just made up my own words. Settle down, all right? Now, let's talk about this, okay? Now, at the end of the day, you're playing an MMO. There has to be a grind to this, right? Not everything's going to come easy to you. If everything came easy, everybody be walking around over here with Thunder Furies, okay? Or Sulfuris's hammer or something. Or everybody be walking around with corrupted Ashbringers, all right? Everybody would be walking around with some crazy, fucking weapon, some crazy gear. Everybody would be walking around with tier sets constantly. I'm not saying that you know, you can't like you should put minimal effort to get those things. What I'm basically just trying to get at is that you got to put the effort in if you want to get those items, right? You got to put that effort in, and I really think that it being locked behind a method of a challenge is worth it. And I do understand his point about things costing a lot. That is a discussion maybe for another video we can deep dive into and look at the auction house. We'll do a live reaction of the auction house, so maybe that's another video idea. Put that down on a pen and paper. Put it down on a pen and paper real quick. Lock it in. However, we will go more into that about the current issue of every time there's a new phase, inflation is like out of its mind. The game and how much things cost is absolutely crazy. But I do understand. I can sympathize. Was what I guess was what I'm trying to say with this individual when it comes to that. I do think there is a lot of expensive things. However, I am happy in a way though that Blizzard decided to take action against GDKPs, because at the end of the day, that's not really how you should be playing the game. You shouldn't be playing the game where the person with the most money gets the best gear. Because if you implement GDKPs, like with you now taking them out, it doesn't give this sense of implementation where now people with the most money to swipe or, buy gold can just get all the best gear in the game. And then also there's another sense, like even if you're not in a GDKP and if you're just in a dickhead ass guild where, a leader is not really, good to your guild mates and he's just taking all the loot for himself, then you don't want to be with that either. And maybe some people at that point wish there was a GDKP system because they could be like, oh, well, then I'll just have the most gold and buy all the gear myself. See, two wrongs don't make a right here. But I do understand the fact that the system that we're currently in right now, especially the economy we're currently in, is pretty steep in prices, and it is hard to really farm a lot of gold when, especially the layer being so fucked, and a lot of these mob spawns getting tagged so quick, or getting killed so fast where like it's kind of hard to even find them or it's even worth doing it. I understand the incentive of why people want to buy gold, so I 100% understand that. And I think he says here, like, I'm going to reread this part again because I was a little confused on what he said here. My Discord going off. Everybody in my guild wants to hang out for some reason. Unbelievable. For example, he said the STV PvP event rewards playing the game. The more you play it, the faster you get the rewards. We're crafting phase 2 rewards by just having gold. I understand what he's saying now. So he's basically he's saying that if you implement hard work rather than having to just pay for everything, like the more you grind, the more you get. And I like that because at the end of the day, the more effort you put into something, you should get out. But that even happens with gold grinding too. Like I remember during when the DMF event was coming out on my mage, I have a mage where I have mining on that character. I was mining nonstop, getting a shit ton of gold. It's when I was doing my gold buying videos. And I was talking about how you should be mining this and going to Red Ridge, and especially when the event comes out, you can make a lot of gold with the whirring brizzing gizmos, whatever they're called. It's the engineer item, okay? I was talking about that and how you should be um, making a lot of money from that, and the more effort you put into that, the more you're going to get out of it. And I was making about like 100 to 150 gold, 200 gold, and now I spent a lot of my fucking gold. I'm down to like 19, 20 gold. It sucks. It is what it is, but we're all biting the same bullet. At the end of the day, we all got to grind. WoW's one of those games that is meant for the longevity. You'll eventually get it all down the line if you play the game long enough. But I think a big thing, just to go off of this user's thing, of his post right here, because I think we're pretty much done with his post right here. So now it's just me and you getting personal, all right? So scooch in. The cloth is coming off, all right? The cloth is coming. Almost threw it out off the chair. The WD-40 on the chair. We got to stop the squeaking. Oh, wrong camera. Wrong camera. Lock it in, guys. Get close. Scooch in. Scooch in. I'm here, right here. Your boy's right here. I think I noticed a big thing about the player base. And I notice this with every human being on this game. And this happens, especially in MMOs, okay? People have a big FOMO of missing out on items. Like, big FOMO. It's crazy. Like, they feel like they have to get things quick. You have to get it fast. Otherwise, you're not competing. And I understand if you're trying to go for parses, you're trying to hit leaderboards, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself. I get it. But if you keep going down that route and stressing yourself out about having to have the most gold, having to have the best items, having to do the rep to get to Exalted for everything, even though your boy's about to be done, 1,000 rep left for Warsong, thank you very much, to Exalted. But having to do all these things to like stress you out, the mounts, the best items in the game, the proper guild to be with, all this stuff, you gotta let it all go, brother. All right, or sister, boy or girl. Okay, you gotta let it all go. Settle down. And when I say settle down, I know I say it as a joke, but I genuinely mean it this time. Just settle down. Take it easy. All right. In due time, it's an MMO. The whole point of the game is supposed to be grindy. It's not supposed to be instant gratification. If you want instant gratification, go play Call of Duty, buy yourself an operator, and you'll have the pack with the cool looking skin and stuff like that. Okay? If you want instant gratification, there you go. But if you want something to grind and work towards, take your time with it. Look up some cool things, watch some videos, look on Wowhead for some items to go after, maybe check the auction house, do your research, and then take it slow. This is not a game that's meant to be a race. It's a marathon at the end of the day. But I think I'll leave you with that, okay? That's about it. I know this video is a little long. We're getting 26 minutes. I don't want to push it any longer. I'm getting sick of it, all right? I'm getting sick of it. My bottom lip, all right? I'm getting sick of it right now. Anywho, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming to the videos all the time. We're close to almost 1,000 subs, guys. That's insane. I started this channel at 300 subs. I never really did anything with it, and we're almost to 1G, okay? 1K. I said 1G. We're not at 1 gold. We will be at 1 gold if we continue down the route of what we're doing. Respecking every other day. Going prot, going ret, considered in Shockaden. Unbelievable. However, love you guys. I hope you're doing well. All right? Catch you in the next one. You keep on keeping on, all right? I'll see you later. Peace out.